Okay, so today is Friday the 13th, and there are a lot of superstitions, of course, surrounding this date.
Yeah, but we are using today as an opportunity to look ahead at what the stars have in store for our 2025. And joining us with her predictions for the new year is astrologer and founder of My Little Magic Shop, Shereen Campbell. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited too. Okay, so let's jump right into this. We want to make sure we have all the time. What do you say as an overall or is an overall theme for 2025?
Yeah, change. It's a year of transformation, of change. And you know, the year might start a little bit slow because we're going to have Mars and Venus retrograde. So people are kind of like, oh God, Mars and Venus in retrograde. But what that does is give us a little bit of time to reflect, to kind of look backwards and kind of like a slingshot, recalibrate where we're going. And then in March, we have Neptune moving into Aries, and we have a couple of other really transformative planets that are changing signs that haven't in forever. So it's a time period where innovation's going to be huge for us. We're going to start to see things really ramp up. And then also as individuals, we get a chance to really reflect and think about what do we dream of? What do we want to create? What do we want the world to look like? And that's Neptune and Aries energy helping us push that forward. And then we have Uranus moving into Gemini, which is all about change, transformation, and sometimes it'll be a little bit sudden, but I think we're able to handle it.
Yeah. So is there any one astrological sign that should be on alert in the new year?
Yeah, so actually 3 signs are going to have amazing years. So Cancer is one of them, and that's because Jupiter is going to move in the sign of Cancer. So that'll be like kind of the once in 12 years of magical energy for them. Gemini is another one. So we're going to have Uranus moving into Gemini. So it's all going to be about innovation, forward thinking, breaking out of your shell and your box so that you can expand and explore. And then Aries, it's going to be a great year for them because Neptune will be moving into the sign of Aries. So it'll give them time and the energy to really dream much larger. Their imagination and creativity will really pick up.
You touched on this briefly, but when is, I guess, Jupiter or Mercury in retrograde, and when should people, what should they keep in mind during that time?
Yeah, absolutely. So Mercury is in retrograde right now, and then it's going to end on Sunday. Then we'll have a 4-month break. It'll happen 3 times next year. So we have one in mid-March, one in mid-July, and then one September 9th. So the thing about Mercury in retrograde is not a bad thing. Don't freak out. It's fine. Again, a time for us to recalibrate, to take a step back, you know, pull back our slingshot, adjust our aim, and then let it go and let it fly. And just, of course, back up your technology, you know, like be clear about communication. It's always a time for weird transportation delays, so give yourself extra time.
That's just living in New York.
Yeah, that's just New Jersey Transit.
Right.
We were talking in the break, that little known thing, that countries have birth signs. So the United States, it's July 4th, 1776. Some people say 5 p.m. Some say noon. And last time I heard about it was in 2019, and from astrologers who predicted the pandemic was going to happen next year. What sort of year will America have based on what we know right now?
Yes, that's a really good question. You know, in 2025, I think there's a lot of change coming. So we have a couple of things happening. One, Pluto's finally into the sign of Aquarius, which is all about change, freedom, and power to the people. So it's almost like this shifting of power from, you know, being consolidated into like the larger public. So for the United States, that might mean that people are starting to do more grassroots movements. They're starting to connect with the purposes they really care about. And I think that as a country, it'll help us kind of propel forward and really recalibrate and think about how do we make sure everything is good for all.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that works.
We definitely have to have you back again because we can just dive into this even more. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and I hope you guys come to My Little Magic Shop one day. We're on 94th in Amsterdam.
On the Upper West Side.
Love that place. It's the most magical place in
the year
all
of
of New
change,
York.
2025.
Yeah, that's where you can get it. Some more astrology tips, by the way. Also, you can follow Shereen on her Instagram, My Little Magic Shop.